Shall we begin?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well,
You countdown?
yeah. We start timing for IOG when I gain control of Will. So I'll psych you up when we're ready for that. And it's important for me to start from a power on too, because of some RNG manipulation I do pretty early in the run.
Is that for the one red jewel? It's actually, yeah, you mess it up, you waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got about 10 or 15 seconds before the starting timer.
Alright, get ready on timer. And go.
So he has to get all 50 red jewels in this run since it's 100%.
Yeah, that won't be truly 100% unless I also go to Gem's Mansion and fight Solid Arm, which
That's up to you guys to donate.
Which we
for
still
that.
need to raise a bit of money for Juvenile Diabetes Foundation in order to make that happen.
So come on, guys, donate for it.
I mean, getting the red jewels in-game gives you some prizes, like some boosts to your stats, some items, and new abilities, but in the speedrun world, we decided to make that the 100% run for the game.
None of the extra items you get are worth using in the speedrun?
Well, you get an extra medical herb and a power. The two abilities you get are good, because one of them boosts your Psycho Dash damage, and the other one gives you the upgraded Dark Fire Shot.
It doesn't matter which card you pick there, every card is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a loaded deck.
Yeah. So this is the manipulation for the red jewel here.
There we go.
Nice.
Was that 8 times you had to go in? 7?
Yeah, when I get back into making like serious attempts at this game, I want to try to figure out a way to set that up faster. Because the RNG that controls that fisherman is running whenever you're outside in South Cape. So when I'm starting from a hard power on, the route I use to get the first 2 jewels then sets it up to get the last one after 7 trips in and out of the cave. But that RNG is also moving during the intro before you get to, or if you don't press start on the title screen. So if I want to experiment with letting the intro play out for like fixed amounts of time to see if that can speed up getting the Fisherman Jewel. Shoutouts to the text Droxes in this game, mostly drawing out in 1 frame too.
Yeah.
It's like the only game ever made where the English version is faster than the Japanese version because of text speed differences, because in the Japanese version the text draws out 1 character per frame instead of the whole box at once.
Every time he dashes, he has to push the arrow key twice.
Yeah.
Snail pie with whipped cream. Nom, 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 nom,
That was
nom.
delicious. Make it happen, people.
They don't call me Pie Wexel for nothing.
And yeah, don't forget to learn the song.
Yeah. You don't get very far without it. This song is red hot too, just like the stuff from Soul Blazer. Trick that was discovered within about the past year actually is that if I hold the start button while I'm on the world map, it skips part of the animation of entering new areas.
Yeah, it just doesn't zoom out.
Yeah, it saves about 1.5 minutes over the course of the run if you do it every opportunity. Each one's about 6 seconds.
He talks to the guard here. Yeah.
Speed boost.
The guard gives him a speed boost.
Alright, so the triggers I need to hit in order to move on are to examine the door, the ball and chain, and one of the pieces of moss, and then I need to just kind of wait for a while. So I'll just practice my guard dashing while we're waiting. This game has no depth physics, by the way, too, which we're about to exploit to save about half a second.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's supposed to be kind of a tutorial for your telekinesis powers, but if you just stand in the corner there, the gem just drops onto you and you get it. Unlike in Soul Blazer, gems in this game are actually bad for the speedrun route, because if you get over 100 of them, that's kind of a one-up, where if you die, you'll respawn in the same room you died in, but if you don't have 100 gems, then you go back to the entrance to the dungeon, and that's good in the speedrun because it lets me skip pretty significant amounts of backtracking later on. So this is a fairly different kind of a run from Soul Blazer, just because there's really no grinding to speak of, just because whenever I kill a boss in this game, my stats all get cut up, so this is much more a run about avoiding fighting stuff than actually doing it.
And you saw him walk through a wall right there. When he busts the wall, you can go into the menu and then he voids the trigger for the detection boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the collision detection for the door is already turned off when I exit the menu.
You're going to do it again here. Oops. And he uses a red jewel since he can do something in the menu while he's doing it.
Killed the wrong thing. Yeah, because there's 50 red jewels, and I can only hold 16 items at once. And if I equip and use a red jewel, it sends it to the jeweler. That's the biggest reset point in the whole run for more serious attempts, because yeah, it's a somewhat random though. But yeah, then since I have to go into the menu anyway to do the pause trick for skipping the explosion animations, I also equip the jewels so that I can use it. That goes about halfway into the run before I can run into the jeweler without a detour, and then start getting some prizes too. See if I can show off a glitch here. It's pixel perfect actually to enter that dark space before it actually appears. But if you do that, the Friedan statue isn't in here. All that's in here is the Gaia statue. And you'd have to leave and go back in to make the Friedan statue appear. Huh. So it would only actually be useful in a segmented run, because in a segmented run you'd probably be saving here and breaking segments. I'm going to be healing a lot at the save points just for marathon safety. More serious run, I wouldn't. I'd be hoping to get health drops from enemies instead. Okay, and right there is what I call an Iframe Dash. or an Invincibility Frame Dash, because whenever you hit an enemy, they cannot hurt you while they're flashing white from the hit stun. And if I basically time it right, I can just pass right through them without taking, like that, taking any damage.
You gotta be dashing in order to get through.
Yeah, and it's not too difficult. I mean, it does take some practice to get consistent at it, but it's not really that hard to do it either as Freedan or as Shadow. But as Will, it's really, really difficult because the inputs that you do with the other two characters with Will instead trigger his jump attack. And in order to cancel the jump attack, you'd have to insert another perpendicular D-pad input, all within just a couple frame windows. So fortunately, there's really not many places in the run where being able to iframe dash as Will actually saves time. I've only found 2. Unlike in Soul Blazer, you can actually run in this game, but you do have to double tap the D-pad to run, which can be a little off-putting. So Terranigma fixed that by just giving you a run button on your controller. Terranigma is the 3rd game in the trilogy. Oh, time for the most important item in the game here.
You've found a large, yummy roast leg of yak! Woohoo!
Yeah.
Not to a yak, it doesn't. He wants his leg back.
No.
This is all just waiting for her to go walk in the middle.
Yep.
She's a jackal. Looks more like a cat.
Yeah, I can see it. Kinda.
Well, excuse me, princess. Alright, so we've got Dirty House.
Insta-clean.
Clean House.
Yeah. And it goes outside, so that way they just instantly go down to the table.
Well, no, you have to leave in order for them to go downstairs, and then they have to be downstairs for you to be able to trigger the next sequence. I go in and out of this house here just to warp Kara and Lily up to these stairs. It's like a few seconds faster than actually waiting for them, because they do have to get there before you can move past.
Yeah.
Alright, and in here is where we get our first special ability. This is the Psycho Dash, which
Pretty useful.
yeah, I mean, you need it in order to break open some walls, but it also does a lot more damage than Will's flute does. And if you line it up right, you can actually get 2 hits per dash too. So that can one-shot most enemies in the next dungeon that I actually need to kill. Skip there.
Yeah.
Having this
Those
climbing down the
stones
ladder.
help.
This game isn't really that good at kind of telling you what to do and where to go sometimes. Like, you're not really given a whole lot of hints on how to get into this room other than that you get the Psycho Dash. And,
also, the Will's hair blows when there's a good gap in the wall, I believe, isn't it? Would they tell you to break?
I think in future puzzles, but not that one. So coming up here, we've got probably the first real RNG hell of the run. Because I have to fight this group of caterpillars, and their movement pattern can make it either really easy or really difficult to kill them before the in-game timer runs out.
Hope you get a triple kill.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Oh, maybe a double. Oh.
When you start rolling, it's hard to get the double hit with the flute.
Oh, actually, that kind of was okay.
Yeah, 4 is not good. I mean, I've gotten as high as 11 on the in-game timer, but a lot of that's just up to RNG as far as if they group together well enough for me to kill like 3 of them with the Psycho Dash at the start of the fight.
Yeah. At least they weren't like rolling around all the sides.
Yeah, well, I am able to kind of manipulate because they roll at you if you line up to them either on either a X or Y axis, basically, and that's why I came at them from a diagonal to prevent any of them from rolling down, because if that happens, I mean it becomes kind of iffy if you can even win at all before the in-game timer runs out. Because if that happens, you have to leave and start over. Okay, we've got the first kind of real dungeon here with really awesome music and some really cool skips.
Alright, we have some donations here. The first is from I Asked for $10, and it says this donation is in support of Optimized Yak Eat Ing. And that is going towards Quexel doing the bonus dungeon and boss in Illusion of Gaia.
Nice.
And we also have an anonymous donation for $4, also towards Quexel doing the bonus dungeon and boss in Illusion of Gaia. So thank you very much to both of you.
Nice.
How much more does that need to make to reach its goal? Still a fair amount. He places the block without killing the enemy.
Yeah, because there's a hole under that enemy there, but I can stand above it and use the block without actually having to fight it. But that's why I killed that one on my way into that room the first time, though, is because otherwise he'd be able to shoot me.
And there's shield dashing.
Yeah, that's a trick I call guard dashing, where I can run while guarding, which you're not meant to be able to do. It's mostly just useful for screwing around, but in that one place, or there's 2 places where it can be useful for saving little bits of time. This room is pretty cool.
And to answer FF Gamer's question, the Gems Mansion and Solid Arm has reached $59 out of $250.
It's gonna do a little. No.
Not high up, but there we go.
Here we go. Yep.
There we go.
A jump slash. He gets enough height where he can slide down it and slide across the other side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first thing I did was I killed that statue head with Will, which you're not supposed to be able to do. The game expects you to go get Friedan, whose sword can reach longer, but if I run up against the wall like I did, I can just barely hit it. Then I also did what I call a ramp boost, or a ramp momentum boost, where I can do a jump attack on a horizontal ramp with the right timing in order to instantly build momentum. And skip having to climb to the top and run down.
Does that work on vertical ramps too, or?
No, just horizontal ramps.
Mm-hmm.
They bait you with that switch. There's your triple kill.
Yeah, when it doesn't really help, other than safety. That's the one red jewel in this place, and I mean the 100% is only a little over 10 minutes longer than any percent, just because most of the jewels are in towns instead of in dungeons.
Mm-hmm. And all the ones in dungeons are in chests, I believe, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And then for this room here, what you're normally supposed to do is go learn the Melody of Winds in a different part of the dungeon and play it, which eliminates the switch to stand on to open the door. But you don't either need to learn or play the melody if you already know where the switch is. So between that and killing that statue with Will, I skipped like probably about 40% or so of that dungeon.
And I think it's easier to fight this boss with Frieden because his range is longer.
Well, yeah, plus you do twice as much damage. Because yeah, damage you do to bosses in this game is only based on what form you are, not what your stats are.
Almost. It's like one frame.
That's the most difficult trick in the whole run, is to kill this boss before he does his laser pattern.
How often do you see you get that?
I've never gotten it on console, only on emulator practice. Because what I was doing there was I was trying to basically press the attack button in a very specific rhythm. I can never remember exactly how many frames it is. It's like 16 or 18 or something like that, but it's basically just the perfect rhythm as far as when I can attack and after cooling down from my last attack. So in order to be able to one cycle cast off, I have to both have a perfect attack rhythm and I have to get lucky with at what point when I'm in my first swing animation, cast off opens its eyes. That was pretty darn close to getting it though. Just a couple, like a few frames away.
Yep.
Oh, I also have to get lucky with his fiery crystal patterns too.
Yeah.
Because if the two patterns are on different tracks, then I have to, if I don't want to get hit, I have to dodge the second one, and then I can't get the one round. So these mystic statues are kind of like the stones in Soul Blazer, only you're not really given any kind of reason in the game for collecting them until you've gotten all of them. Now we get to see Will's rubber legs in action. Whee! Splat. Oops, wait, where am I? Getting tired already.
Take a nap.
He's not tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Will doesn't take naps anywhere as often as Cecil does, though. This is a pretty insidious jewel here, just because you have such a really tight window to get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since I can't move during this cutscene, but I can open the menu, so I equip the yak leg during that, just because to save frames, basically. Well, this rafting sequence here is just pretty much just a series of story triggers that you need to hit. Like the first day I had to talk to Kara twice and then eat the yak meat. This day I just have to hit one of the fish and then wait about 30 seconds.
I know there's a flag on your little raft here.
Yeah, a surrender flag, I guess. Such a bother. Okay, so then on this day I need to actually refill my HP and then talk to Kara. The game doesn't actually care how you get to full HP, so in a more serious attempt I would use the medical herb I picked up in the Incan ruins to refill 8 HP and skip having to catch 8 fish. But I want to save that medical herb for the vampires for safety.
Yeah.
I mean, you're stranded on a raft for like 7 days. You definitely kind of start getting feelings.
Yep.
What else you got? The fish?
Yeah.
I guess there are more fish in the sea then.
Sharks.
The sharks. Talked to her by mistake.
Those frames, man.
Day 21 and end of drifting.
Oh yeah, and here we've got our best Xbox too. Will! Suddenly Will fell over unconscious.
Yep.
He's so strong he can narrate himself falling unconscious. Here we get a quick tutorial on how scurvy works.
I call you when first wakes up, he just stands on the bed.
Yeah.
And you just to jump off. Here's Turbo the dog, Quintet's mascot. Did some dumpster diving there to get a medical herb and an HP up. The HP up is just there, so it's not really a detour, and having one more HP does help in a couple places.
Which one do you want?
The one who tells me about the mine. To get one of this next jewels too, I actually have to sell out an escaped slave miner to his captors, which is for kids, you know.
Took a while for me to figure out you can jump over those little ledges there.
Yeah, that's another kind of nasty one. Because of the 50 jewels in the game, half of them are permanently missable.
Maybe because you can't go back to certain areas once you get to a certain spot.
Yeah, like I can't go back to South Cape or the Incan ruins or Ittery Village or anything now.
Time for the diamond mine.
Yep.
It's a pretty cool dungeon too.
Yeah, it's got some stuff. It's got some really annoying enemies too,
Yeah.
because of how little space you have to work with.
But if you do it well, it's pretty nice.
Wow, I can barely see the walls on this TV.
Look at the flash screen.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I can see enough. But
Flash screen's like really bright.
yeah, it's got lag though. Those purple eyeballs have kind of have pretty unpredictable movement patterns. If I hadn't clipped the wall like that, I could have gotten past that worm without getting hit. Yeah, if the lizard man gets in front of the switch, even though it looks like I'm hitting the switch along with the lizard man, I'm really not. Wasn't high up enough.
And 3 red jewels.
Yep.
It's one of those really hidden ones too.
Yeah, because that one, yeah, if you stand close enough to it, you can see Will's hair blowing, which is the cue.
And all those jump sashes.
Wow. This guy for safety because my health is so low.
Oh,
Jeez,
Oh,
the snipe.
oh.
These guys do our. He's actually going to do a death warp in a second here.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm gonna heal just because I don't want. I could get sniped by
Yeah.
something in the next room, and then have to do a ton of backtracking. Like useless thing here too. Hey, what am I doing? Hey, what was that? Oh, Darkfire can now be used. Yeah, whenever you touch a power-up statue, you get the ability instantly before the tutorial pops up. Yeah, because coming up after I get the key that I need in this area of the mine, I'm going to do Death Warp. So I generally want to have kind of lowish health coming out of this room so that I can die faster, but I don't want to die prematurely because then that would be like roughly a minute worth of extra backtracking. So I took that heal for safety.
If he gets hit here, if it's actually worth it.
Yeah, once in a great while that worm can snipe me,
Yeah.
depending on when it shoots. I mean, I can usually despawn the shot by getting it to run into the wall, but once in a great while it hits me. Okay, so now that I've got that key, I'm gonna die, which sends me back, because I have under 100 dark gems, it sends me all the way back to the entrance, but that both skips some backtracking to get to the place where I need to use the elevator key, and also refills my health and changes me back to normal will form. The normal will form part doesn't really matter for this part, but it will later. And getting the health refill just kind of frees me up to be more aggressive in the first half of the diamond mine. because I don't have to try to conserve health for the second half.
You got the key.
This is the most dangerous
Yeah.
room in the whole place, just because of how many enemies there are.
And the passageways are so narrow.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm taking a lot of precautions here, but obviously I'd want to try to just run around all of these enemies instead of fighting
Yeah.
them if I can.
And that's not even working too well.
Well, I do want to die again afterwards, so. Something I kind of appreciate too is that ordinarily when you talk to Sam here, he gives you the memory melody, but also takes the prison key and the melody of winds. But I don't actually have the melody of winds, and he actually has different dialogue depending on whether you have it or not, which kind of surprises me, given that you're not really expected to be able to skip it. But the game is programmed so that you can, and then it also lets you skip the, or it also skips Sam taking it.
Mm-hmm. It's also what we're for the game to get rid of those inventory spaces.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why you don't lose it when you use it, like a lot of other key items, is that because the prison key works on other doors in there. Like, there's like, I think you need it in order to get to the save point right outside the prison cell, and then there's like another prisoner that you can rescue and talk to, and then if you leave the room with the switch puzzle in it, it resets. So you would need to play the melody again in order to see the clue again.
And the memory melody just disappears after you use it.
Yeah, every other melody you get disappears. Well, except for Lola's melody, but memory melody. And a nice little Easter egg too is that the memory memory melody he just played is actually the background music for Angkor Wat, which is where where Sam and the other miners are from. That region. Something I like about running this game too is that it's very fast-paced. I mean, because of how fast the text scrolls, the English version, there's only maybe roughly 5 cutscenes in the whole game that are over a minute long. This is one of them. It's also got a lot of glitches and speed tricks too. I should say time-saving glitches too. As far as the Gems Mansion and Solid Arm challenge, I guess we'll probably need to cut that off, like when I finish the boss refights in the Tower of Babel.
Yeah. So on, guys. All I need is about 200 more. Get those donations in.
So that's, let's see, probably roughly an hour and 15 minutes or so from now. Or longer if I die.
So about an hour and 15 minutes from now then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find that rock.
Yeah, we actually don't need rocks, we just need to talk to Kara, then Lily, then Kara again. I like how each major NPC in the game has their own tone that they use for drawing out text too.
Yeah.
Along with the color too. Like Kara has pink text and a higher pitched tone than others.
Yes, Sky Garden hype.
Yeah. There's some decently cool tricks in the Sky Garden. And some pretty dangerous sections too.
Yep.
This is not one of them. All of the damage I've taken so far has been intentional to set up a death warp.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the crystal ball. Only, what, 3 more?
Yep.
4 total, yeah.
There's jump slash.
Yeah, it's the last time. That's the last time I do it. Well, actually, no. There's one more in the Sky Garden, but then I lose the ability to do it after I learn the Psycho Slide ability in Moo.
We still have other cool tricks for the ramp still.
Oh yeah. I used to have to kill that caterpillar there in a previous route where I would have to come back with free Dan, but now since I'm going to death warp out of this section, I don't need to. Let's see if I can get the quick kill on this guy. Yep.
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, it didn't get hit by the water either. That was in kind of a bad position. If I open the, I mean, I probably could have made it, but if I open that chest, if I use the pause trick and then open that chest while the explosion animation of the wall is still in progress, then it soft locks the game. If you're fast enough and get to the chest before, then you're fine. And I could have made it that time, but I don't want to risk a soft lock and
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
2 down, 2 to go.
Yep. This one's pretty special, by the way. That was a very... Because what you're meant to do here is to solve a bunch of puzzles that
Yeah.
involve like jumping to the flip side, breaking some walls, and moving statues around through telekinesis in order to clear a path across this bottom row here so that you can build momentum to run and boost up that ramp. But I can just use Will's jump attack to completely skip this section pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
This is where having that one extra health from Phrygia comes in handy, just because if I don't make it to that chest before the fire snake gets there, then I don't die. But I mean, I could have. I mean, and I also want to be low health going in there, just because.
Yeah, there's another.
Because there aren't any really high damaging enemies there to help me kill myself quickly. So I moved in a special pattern in order to spawn this fire snake here early so that I don't have to wait for it to get out of my way to get to this dark space. That early spawn being discovered is why the route has changed for the Sky Garden. Because then it makes it so that it's not slower to get Friedan here. This is really dangerous room here. Just because those caterpillars can combo you to death so easily if both of them gang up on you.
You're actually using ramp the legit ways.
Yeah. You can actually walk around this statue and open the chest from the other side, but it's pixel perfect in order to walk around it without jumping off the ledge here.
Yeah.
And if you jump off the ledge, it's several minutes to get back up there, so no thanks. Alright, that's basically it for Sky Garden. Just have to fight the boss now.
Mm-hmm.
Couple swings and got bad swooping angles. Ideally should be beating that boss the third time he uses that crystal breath attack.
Mm-hmm.
I was also playing it a bit safe. But despite birds being jerks, I consider that basically the easiest boss in the game, just because there's no real randomness at all. Other than when it does that four-way feather shot, what direction the feathers move. Otherwise, pretty much everything it does is either manipulatable or predictable.
And I'll play with no issue at all.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, you could kill that boss considerably faster with Friedan, but there isn't really. I mean, it
takes a while to get him.
Yeah, you would have to. I mean, you would have to backtrack out of the last area with Friedan instead of death warping, and it is slower that way by about 10-15 seconds.
What if you had 100, hit over 100 joules and you died? Wouldn't you go back with Friedan still?
You would, but you'd be in the same room that you died in.
You just go back. Then you just exit the room and you're back in the.
Well, no, because you'd be in the room where the crystal ball is, not the because the deaths I've been doing here are without 100 dark gems, so I'm going back to the quadrant I'm in instead of the exact room that I was in.
Yeah.
And you spawn from where you entered from, right?
You would, yeah.
So you want to
be jumping back up from the underside.
Yeah. So you don't need to say something at all. Just be like a regular death.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting 100 dark gems would mean you'd have to not do it, because you lose any dark gems you have when you die to without 100. So getting to 100 would be pretty time consuming too.
And the only way, like the only like convenient place you could die would be like a boss, I guess. If you have more than 100, not lose time.
I mean, pretty much every boss in this game has kind of a hard checkpoint right before it that works even if you don't have 100.
Dandelion. What's your name? Sub Lily.
All right, we have a couple of new donations. First off, from Magical Quevor, we have $5. And the message is, hey there, put this $5 towards naming Lena Sweetie Belle in Chrono Cross. Shortened to whatever Railcoon wishes, and he went with Sweetie. Missed yesterday and part of today, no thanks to an exam, but now I can watch non-stop. So much hype and more donations to come. Well, thank you very much for your generosity. Next up, we have $5 from Pandyloo, who says, great marathon for a great cause. Looking forward to the Legend of Mana run. Much love from Sweden. Well, thank you very much to both of you for your generosity. And just to remind anyone who's just tuning in, all proceeds from this marathon are going to JDRF, which is the leading global organization focused on type 1 diabetes research with the goals of curing, treating, and preventing type 1 diabetes.
So another reason why in a more serious run I would use a medical herb to skip part of the fishing minigame is that having 3 medical herbs means more trips into the menu, especially during this section, in order to clear jewels out.
Yeah.
Oops. Like that.
Yeah, and there's no point grinding since when he beats the boss, he gets all the upgrades from the dungeon as well.
Yeah.
That's one I mean, bring up.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it possible to speedrun this game without grinding any stats at all. And the way you normally increase your stats in this game is by killing all the regular enemies in a room of a dungeon, and then that permanently boosts your HP, strength, or defense by 1. But whenever you kill a boss, the game catches you up on all of those stats. So the difficulty of this run kind of ebbs and flows depending on how recently I've fought a boss. Because I just beat Viper in the Sky Gardens, which means I'm now caught up. And then this dungeon also has a boss, the most difficult one in the game, in fact. And because this is only one dungeon between bosses, that means I'm not quite as far out behind on the stats as I am for most of the other bosses. Because most of the bosses in this game will kill me in 2 hits with the stats I have. Dirt a little bit on that one. The goal is to kill that golem before it goes back to sleep.
Okay, you could've got 3 hit, right?
Well, I didn't start charging my second dash fast enough.
Wizrobes.
Yeah, these wizrobes can and will spawn directly on top of me. Kill that guy just because he can get in my that slime, just because he can get in my way. On my way back.
Alright, we have some more donations. An anonymous donor gives $10 and says, let's go for Solid Arm.
Ah, thank you.
Nice.
And that is awesome, thank you so much, because we definitely want to see more of Puexel doing a bonus dungeon and bonus boss. Also, we've received some questions about what's in this bizarre box on the table. Unfortunately, we can't tell you, but what I can tell you is that with a minimum $30 single donation, you will be entered in the draw to win said box, and more importantly, what is in the box.
Ooh.
And remember, all those donations go to a great cause.
Yep. The mystery box.
So Moo is probably the the longest dungeon in the game, just because of all the backtracking I have to do. I mean, I use death warps to skip a little bit of it, but not that much. Because I have to place these 2 statues to lower the water level so that I can actually explore all of it. And then after that, I need to get 2 more statues in order to open the door to the boss.
Also, you learn a Psycho Slide too, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Which is probably the most OP ability in the game.
I feel absolutely wrong doing this for Denton, but... Come on.
Couple.
Yes. Thank you.
So just to answer the question about the mystery box, is it a single $30 donation or 30 cumulative? It is a single $30 donation that gets you into the draw to win the box.
And is this across the whole marathon, or is it just for certain games? Right across the entire marathon?
Just for marathon safety, I'm gonna kill this guy before I try to do what I call the Golem Skip. Because you're ordinarily supposed to get free Dan, and then use his Dark Friar shot in order to hit that golem and wake it up and make it move out of your way. But if you bounce up the ring and then do some stuff that would take longer to explain than is really worthwhile.
It's kind of like Iframe Dash when you hit the enemy and you can't get hit by him.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a bit of, because there's a sliver of pixels at the top of the ramp that the game considers flat ground instead of part of the ramp, so I can basically just arrange so that I'm standing on those pixels, and then I can hit the golem with Will's flute and then pass through it as it's waking up.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, here we get the aforementioned Psycho Slider. It does the same amount of damage as Psycho Dash, only you don't have to charge it up, you just attack while running. And if you position it right, you can hit twice with it, and Will is invincible while doing it. So it's really, really...
and there's some cool tricks with it too.
Alright, we received a $30 donation from Nebless, who is obviously interested in the mystery box. The comment is, "Hello Puexel, good luck on your run," and this donation goes towards Gem Mansion and Solid Arm.
Nice.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Must be getting kind of close to it now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if my health was lower, I would kill that Wizrobe before moving the bounce ring, but I'm fine.
So for an update on the Gem Mansion and Solid Arm, so far we've raised $99 out of the $250 goal.
Almost halfway there.
So yeah, get those donations in there, and you'll get to see more of Puexel.
Probably about somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour to go until we'd have to cut it off.
Just $151. Come on, guys.
Alright, so the second Room of Hope is conveniently located right next to the entrance to Moo, so I saved several minutes worth of backtracking by doing a death warp there.
Uh-huh.
And the one and only red jewel in Moo is conveniently located right next to this place too. There's there's like some herbs I think too that are actually pretty far out of the way. So I'm quite glad that they put the red jewel right here instead of elsewhere.
They were probably testing off with the red jewels, and they didn't want to put some far. They were like, "Screw this! We'll put it next week. Put it real close so we can get it real easily."
So yeah, if I start my slide kind of at the right distance away, I can kick the. I can barely see that gap. I can kick the enemy into the slide while I'm still doing it, and get 2 hits, and it does a ton of damage.
Nice.
These golems are really, really easy to clip through just because they don't actually get a hurt box until they finish waking up.
I thought you were just standing there on the edge of the.
What I'm doing here is actually an invincibility glitch, where if I open the chest while in the middle of either a jump attack or slide, then I'm completely invincible until I leave the room, though. So it's not quite as useful as it sounds, but and it also doesn't really save time in this room, but it's just more for safety.
Yeah. Save.
Yeah. So we've got the vampires coming up, who are the most difficult boss in the game. Because there's 2 of them, and I have to fight them with will because getting free Dan just costs way too much time.
Mm-hmm.
Most fun boss to watch too, probably. From a viewer's perspective.
Yeah, it looks pretty. It's pretty hype if done well. I forgot something too.
306 statues.
Alright, serious time.
We have bad rotations.
Have to play it really safe now. And if I die to the vampires, it's faster to reset, just because I don't get my medical herbs back, and I don't get that cutscene at the start of the fight where I can get some free hits. Yeah, I had to burn through all my herbs way too quickly.
Yeah. You want them to like line up on top of each other so you can hit both at the same time.
Yeah, although that is more dangerous too, just because their firing patterns aren't usually very close in sync. So it's really unlikely that I'm not going to get hit if that happens. But it's faster because if I can hit both of them at the same time.
No, like once you kill one, the other one is a little bit easier.
Yeah. Before I start a run of this game, I always warm up by fighting the vampires a couple times and doing the pyramid at least once.
No, another mystic statue.
Feeling deja vu.
Yes.
Hopefully the deja vu ends there.
I hope so too.
That's pretty good. Good job.
If only the first one could have gone like that. That was a decent time too, 84 on the bomb timer.
Was it, that's like 90 something?
Yeah, I've actually gotten over 100 like twice maybe, but there's a lot of RNG in this battle too, just because of their movement patterns are random. There's some things that I can predict, like the male vampire just kind of goes wherever he wants to, but the female vampire only goes kind of one up or down or left or right position on the grid that the blocks in the room form at once. Yeah. And whenever they do their combo attack, they both go back to the positions they were in before they started doing it.
Isn't there a task with this game?
Yeah, it's actually pretty outdated. It's only about 10 minutes faster than my real-time PB, and large part of that is actually because it doesn't death warp, and it doesn't use the pause cancel glitch because that wasn't known at the time.
What kind of times do you get on the vampire fight?
I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't seen that task for a long time. The strat, I mean, it uses a similar strat because kind of the core of the vampire strat with Will is that I have to kind of get myself stuck in between two one-tile wide or get in a one-tile wide gap between blocks so that I can jump attack in place, and then I can do hits on the vampires while being invincible. Yeah, the vampires also don't do contact damage if you touch them; only their attacks hurt you. If you attack them, they immediately stop and deploy shields. But if you get into the right rhythm with jump attacks, then you jump over the shields. I mean, the main reason I died on the first attempt was because I wasn't really warmed up enough, and my rhythm was off for avoiding the counters. But the second one was pretty good.
It feels like Morse code.
Yeah, we've got cutscenes for another minute or so go for it.
Alrighty, our first donation is for $5 from Tomas Orlemunde by Voshkun, better known as Harima, who says, some more money for the extra dungeon, and I dare anyone out there to outdo me in donating, even though any amount of money clearly helps. So keep donating.
True that.
Thank you very much. And a personal favorite of mine, a $30 donation from an anonymous donor who says, who could resist mystery prizes anyway? So we have a mystery donor who is clearly interested in the mystery box. Thank you very much.
Okay, so right here is my first opportunity to talk to Gem the Jeweler without having to go out of my way. So I do that to clear all the jewels out of my inventory and to get a couple prizes. Like I get a medical herb, all of my stats increased by 1, and a damage upgrade to my Psycho Dash based on the number of jewels I... Okay.
Alright.
Alrighty then.
At least it was in a spot where you could easily.
At least it wasn't like in the middle of the vampires
You
fight.
had, like, I was like, I'm not stopping right now.
I don't want to stop.
Just wait till that reverts.
I must have made it halfway through this run before it froze.
Yeah. I'll get it over with and go to sleep. It's been like 28 hours. It's 8:30 yesterday morning. What time is it now?
Probably like 11 or so. Yeah, a little after 11.
It's almost 27 hours then. It'll be 27 hours, 11:30. I was up at 8:30 yesterday morning. And I was only on 3 hours sleep after that.
Alright, we're going to take the stream down and see what more we can do to get this fixed. We'll be back as soon as possible.
So are we back up then? Alright. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, those bats are like... Nice.
That double kill right there is only possible in 100% because of the Psycho
Dash power.
Dash power up that you get from the Jeweler.
Slide so strong.
I like that, like moonwalk.
And to Ishtar's gallery.
So this is a series of memory puzzles right here where you have to identify what's different between the two rooms, but fortunately there's nothing different. There's no randomness at all.
Yeah, same every time. Yeah, I like the fact that they give you a little mouse cursor.
This one's kind of sneaky, just because the second room has a red jewel in the chest, and if you leave the room after solving the puzzle before you get the jewel, then you can't get back in. Ever. This one's kind of sneaky too, just because the difference is that Will's hair is blowing because of wind, so you need to click on Will in order to solve it.
You found magic dust.
And we get the world's most awkward hug here.
Yeah. 'Cause I think they're expecting you to do something very middle.
Yeah, but you can kiss the picture from the
Yeah.
edge.
What kind of thing they when program they test once and they're like, okay, it works good. Next thing, oh wait, you can do it from different spots. We didn't test that.
Yeah, not important.
Gotta get the mode 7 effects down now.
Look how they travel in V formation.
Yep, they're migrating birds.
I always like the Rhapsody of Watermia.
So this world's equivalent of Venice, basically.
Oh,
On the couch?
sorry.
That's not a good place for it.
Cake.
Yay, cake.
Candles are 2, 4. What, 14 candles? 13.
I guess that works.
13 or 14. Pretty young.
Well, she is a fairy or something,
Yeah.
after all.
I don't think it says what old how old she is.
Yeah, it doesn't say how old any of the characters are. You can kind of assume they follow Japanese video game logic, where they're like 16 or 18, but act like they're 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is another kind of nasty trick where in order to actually figure out where to go next, you have to read a letter that got put into your inventory with no hints whatsoever.
They even reference that in the letters, like, I snuck this in the Will's bag, but I
Yeah.
doubt he'll notice.
Another cool trick here coming up later.
Oh, yeah.
Ladders are overrated.
Splat.
Who needs ladders?
Climb machine?
Oh, we need a ladder.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm trying to do with these guys is just a hair off there. Is start my slide when I'm close enough that I only hit them once instead of twice, because if I hit them twice, the extra knockback makes me just lose a little bit of time because I have to.
And you're dead.
Splat. The extra knockback pushes them back in front of me, and then I have to either run around them or kill them. This one I don't want to. I do want to hit twice though, just to make it easier to get back through.
Arrow. It waits in this running formation.
Well, I said wait, so. And. Nice.
Nice.
Yep.
So that skips him going to another across that gap.
Yeah, it lets me do the next couple parts of this dungeon out of sequence, which kind of has the net payoff of getting to skip an entire section of the Great Wall. Because the first step is going to be getting free Dan before I get the spin dash.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to be able to get in between those two ramps and go down the stairs without the spin dash. But
Yeah.
I was able to slide into the ramp.
Stopping some momentum, yeah.
To kill my momentum and then get in.
Run as swift as an
I
arrow.
feel like if he catches that arrow, he's gonna take damage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I got hit. I ran into the arrow and took damage.
Into the arrow from behind.
You'd probably even stick in backwards too.
That would be embarrassing.
And this is all we need free Dan for.
Yep. It'd be nice if there was a way to take free Dan to fight the boss, but no.
And it'd be really nice.
Because then RNG would be less of an issue. Anyway, so the only thing I actually need free Dan for is to kill that archer to open the way forward, and then I can go actually learn the spin dash. And if I'm free Dan when I touch the statue, I go back to being Will. And that only happens when you're actually learning the spin dash. If you come back later, the statue on the left doesn't actually do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to do the next section with Will when the game expects you to be free Dan. And, well, then you'll see when I get through it. Yeah, the way you're meant to get through this room is to use Will's telekinesis powers to move the dolls around, and then you can hit this switch at the end to wake them up and fight them. But if I turn around as I attack, I can change the direction of the impact and make them go backwards, and then just clip right through. And that is actually a lot easier to do with Will than free Dan, just because of the way his attack hitbox works. And then because I'm already Will, I can just go over that ramp and go straight to the boss instead of having to go downstairs and kill some enemies to open up a dark space to become Will.
Time for Troll Finger.
Yep. No 3 for 3. That was a really good start, though, because that's the best possible pattern that it can give me. And, I would kill to have luck like this in an actual run, for the record.
Yeah.
It's only 25% odds for the egg pattern.
Nice.
That was a really, really good fight, although it's pretty much, I mean, I do need to be able to hit him. The highest number of times I can per cycle, which is basically either 2 or 8, but that was ridiculously good luck.
Trollfinger decided to play nice.
Yeah. Dying to the vampires must have manipulated a good Trollfanger pattern. It's actually called Sandfanger for the record, but he's a troll, so he's Trollfanger instead. Because it's one of the easier bosses. Just because if you're on the bottommost row of tiles, there isn't really anything that they can do that can hurt you unless you let the eggs get out of control. But you need to get that egg pattern in order to be able to kill it quickly. And it's so late in the run too to have something kind of that much RNG too, because you're already past the vampires by this point.
I was dandelion crying from happiness.
It's like a million summer days. Aww. You know what else is like a million summer days? Donations to JPRF.
And don't forget the mystery box. A single $30 donation on all in one lump sum is
So how
all
are we
you need.
doing on the optional stuff for this run? Because we've got maybe like half an hour or so left until I need to cut it off.
Oh, sorry, we were working on the video problems, so let me just quickly check that. Yeah, sorry, we were working on the video problems. Let me quickly check.
Do we do a Russian roulette in this?
Wait, what?
Russian roulette?
That's what we're doing right now.
So the Gem Mansion and Solid Arm has made it to 134 out of 250.
Nice.
116 more.
Now we're going to play some Russian roulette for kids, only they call it Russian glass.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the glass that has poison in it is always the one on the right, and if you examine it, Will cheats basically and is able to tell that it's suspicious. So you actually have to say yes to drink it, and if you do drink it, you do die, but you just respawn like you died in a dungeon.
Okay. The funny thing is, why would he drink the last glass if no one had died yet?
Well, it's because he doesn't want to admit defeat, and
Yeah.
you also find out afterwards that he has a fatal illness, and he's gambling with his life to try to raise money for his family.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroo camels.
You want a dolly now? Not yet.
Also known as Crux in this world.
Save your girl. How about hidden red? I think there's a couple of hidden red jewels in this city that are hard to find.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much all of them, in fact, except for the apple one.
Yeah.
They set off fireworks. There were dancers. It looked like a festival had started. So now we're gonna see like some cool graphical effects and stuff for the celebration, kind of like the Chrono Trigger ending, right?
No. Unfortunately.
No, it's low budget partying.
You have one cup for the tea.
No, because you were right. You were late. You didn't get to see it.
So I need to give 3 apples to a lady at the mansion to get a red jewel. I'm gonna give her 2 of them and then get the 3rd apple, but I'm not gonna give it to her until I need to return to the mansion as part of the story.
That's pretty good.
I just kind of love the concept because you walk in on this old married couple that's arguing about a magical teapot on a mountain nearby. Okay, I guess we'll go get it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops, I went to the wrong town. Whatever shall I do?
And while we're here, we might as well go look around town.
This is kind of another insidious jewel just because it's the only one in the game that requires you to backtrack to a previously completed town or dungeon.
Yeah, that's really one of the more vicious ones.
Yep. Okay, so now I've gotten all of the rewards you get for jewels other than Gem's Mansion. Now I've got the Dark Friar upgrade, which is it's even more overpowered than the Psycho Dash, or Psycho Slider, but the number of places where you can use it is more limited.
Mm-hmm.
So this next dungeon is pretty annoying in normal play just because it's so easy to get lost, but it's not really that dangerous or difficult once you know the
Pattern.
the layout, the vines. One kind of annoying thing about using the spin dash is that if you press the L or R buttons to start charging it before you come to a complete stop, then you just guard instead and then waste your charge, like I did there. Kill that skull to open a shortcut to get back out.
And jewel.
And it's the mushroom drops.
Makes the one thing grow longer. With one line.
Yeah, they're keys basically to get further into the mountain.
Yeah. They basically act like Super Miracle Grow.
Pretty much. And then, kind of from this point forward, anytime I have to move a really long distance in a straight line, it's faster to spin dash with the charge up time.
Hey, there's a red jewel.
Whee!
At least it doesn't get dizzy.
No, that's the next game, I think. So I killed that guy to reduce lag on the way out of the room.
Yeah.
You You're trying to do the.
Trying to do the chest there. Yeah, the chest
Nice.
invincibility glitch.
It's the mushroom drops.
Again.
Again.
So now you can just run through enemies because you got the invincibility glitch.
Yep, so now I can just run right through. These are the. Yeah, I mean, if there's like 4 of them on screen at once, then it creates a lot of lag because of their little fireballs, which is why I killed one of them with my spin dash just to try to reduce the lag a bit. The old strat for that room was to charge another spin dash and spin dash through the fire fairies, but if I get the chest invincibility glitch first try, then it's faster to do that. Oh, if you do another jump or slide attack while you're invincible, then you lose your invincibility too. Just because I mean, the way it works is that you're in a part of your attack animation where you're invincible, but then it gets interrupted and the game doesn't actually take that off. But if you do the thing again, then it does get taken off.
It's the mushroom drops.
It's the final mushroom drops.
Of all the places that need a death warp, this is the place.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that can actually damage you fast enough to even be worth it is those fire fairies, because they do about, I think, 3 damage, and every other enemy in this place only does 1. So if you run into like spiders or skulls, it just wastes time because of losing your running speed. The upside to that, though, is that it's really difficult to actually die in this dungeon. Unintentionally, at least.
Found the teapot.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout.
And that saved about at least 3 minutes.
A couple minutes, yeah.
Temple. Even the temple. That's 0.
Talking to this guy here gives me a strength jewel. It's kind of a wash on time because it makes it so I can kill regular non-boss enemies in the next areas with 2 fewer hits. But it definitely helps for safety, especially in the pyramid.
Got some slaves behind the church.
Yep, hey slaves! Yoink! My slaves!
Got the... no, wait. Never mind.
Yeah, I've got the apple already.
Yeah. You got up when you turn the other 2
Yeah. And shopping isn't useful in this run. Or isn't needed.
Yeah, there is actually no currency or shops or anything in this game.
The only thing closest to currency would be the red jewels. The guy gives you the rewards
Yeah.
for them.
But there's limited numbers of them. I mean, there's only 16 medical herbs in the game too, so that's kind of a annoying thing for new players. Is and they only give you 8 HP back too, so they're not really even that useful late in the game.
Come on, you can do it.
Ah, my shoulders!
You can do it.
You want to split it?
Okay.
Give me a cup.
Okay.
Hamlet.
Is that bacon I smell?
This is probably Red Bull.
I still always wonder how he gets across the ocean.
Ooh, piggy.
Oops.
I'll leave it for the product placement.
Well, time's a ticking on the bonus content too, because I only have 2 more dungeons to go before the final boss rush.
So yeah, the bonus dungeon. Hurry up and get him in. Get the donations in for that.
You still the pyramids and then the.
Angkor
Yeah,
Wat,
Angkor Wat
and
and
pyramids,
pyramids.
and the Tower of
Yeah.
Babel.
And on the topic of the bonus dungeon, we are getting very close. We now have $204 out of the 250 required raised to make
Nice.
Quexel do that bonus dungeon and
$46.
optional boss.
Yep, added bonus too. You get to, if I do the bonus dungeon, you get to hear some smack talk about the run before this one.
Why does it look like your arms are outside the ropes? It looks like your arms are outside.
They are.
Oh no!
Bacon, why?
No. What?
Yeah, Will has an interesting lineage. His dad is a flute and his mom is a pig. And the ropes just magically disappear.
Yeah. So, just I thought you were going to intensely study this game.
Well, that's driving, running around. I'll pick his ear during the scrub race.
I always got lost in this dungeon.
Race.
Castlevania 4.
Yes.
Ah.
It'll be a mess.
Probably on both our parts.
Yeah, I used to get lost in this dungeon all the time.
So anyway, I do a bit of AI manipulation in this room here, because if I hit the thing on the left, that'll make it drop its slugs instead of shoot at me, which then gives me enough time to kill the right one before I'm in any real danger. Oops, go down far enough.
I don't understand what that was supposed to be doing that for.
You're falling into a pit of bugs, basically.
It doesn't hurt you, it's just there for like the sound effect.
Well, we got pitch black, and then we get the opposite pretty shortly, too.
Didn't that just have a red jewel?
Herb.
Yeah.
Nah. I don't know how I thought it was a red jewel.
I think there's another switch though, another break the other side of the stairs in order to get it.
So anyway, this garden area has the kind of the birds or jerks rule adherent in this game. Oops, went the wrong way. Got distracted by the word wannabes. Because those flies have really random movement patterns.
Well, Freedom's getting the most juice he's gotten since Incan City.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the upgraded Dark Friar.
useful there.
Very.
Yeah, and with that strength jewel, I picked up a hero that can one-shot those enemies, which cuts down on lag pretty substantially. There we go.
Nice.
Alright, so this is the Earthquaker skip here, where if I split a upgraded Dark Friar shot with the right timing and positioning, I can do an off-screen kill of that golem there, because the gimmick is that when that golem wakes up, it becomes invincible and blocks the way forward. And you're supposed to get a otherwise completely useless power-up for Freedan called Earthquaker, which lets you paralyze the golem and then kill it before it wakes up. But now I was able to skip kind of a whole section of this dungeon that leads up to the Earthquaker power. So what I did there also too was I activated a checkpoint that works even without 100 dark gems, and then went back to get that jewel and then killed myself so that I'd respawn at the checkpoint and be Will again, because I need Will's sliding powers for the next area.
Maillage.
Goggles do nothing. Oops.
Well, only this looks white because you don't have the other one item.
Yeah, there's a pair of crystal sunglasses you can find that you actually see in that room, but who needs those?
Casual players.
Alrighty, I'm very happy to say that for the Gem Mansion and Solid Arm, we have now reached 280 out of the 250
nice.
required.
Nice. Thank you, everybody.
So yes, we all get to torment Puexel with an additional dungeon and boss.
And we get to torment Driscollad too, but with the smack talk that occurs before and after the said optional boss.
Or after.
Yeah.
So what's the next game after this?
Lightning Returns.
Okay, so what has it been met in that? Or does I think it has some rolling incentives too.
There were only a couple challenges that was most
For outfits.
Yeah. I think Lightning says the magic words.
Oh yeah.
Like right away, it was one of the first things that happened in the marathon.
Yeah, I think that's been met already.
And then there was like one other one that was fairly minor, like pilot bones.
It's the inside of Nintendo.
But yeah, this whole cutscene here gets screwed up because of me doing the world map zoom skip before coming in here.
It looks like
Because when I do that, it goofs with the camera, so because it's supposed to zoom out and then show the futuristic city there, but it doesn't zoom out because I skipped it on the world map.
That or got steamrolled.
It'd be nice if it, yeah, yeah. It'd be nice if that actually shortened that cutscene, but it doesn't.
it looked like the inside of like a Nintendo cartridge.
Maybe it got turned into one of Dr. Leo's model cities or something.
Mm-hmm.
This is a timing method you do there.
Alright, then we get to take another trip through this place. And I'm just gonna kill myself on this guy here to, so it's kind of a wash on time, and then it means I have full health for the start of the pyramid. And for and I guess for escaping from Angkor Wat. Downside to the fact that Angkor Wat has 2 checkpoints that work even if you don't have dark gems, that then you can't death warp all the way out.
Yeah.
In any percent run, I could have death warped out of the final temple, but because I had to get a red jewel on my way out, it doesn't really save time to death warp there.
Sentient shrubbery.
Yeah, I call them bush roots.
Good enough name.
pig?
Tasty yummies.
Ow. There's like what, two red here and one in.
There's 3. You get 2 of them from the Snake Panic
Okay.
game. Alright, so this is pretty much the final dungeon in the game because the Tower of Babel afterwards is just a boss gauntlet. And this is also the most difficult dungeon in the game just because it's been 2 full dungeons now since I've last fought a boss. So I'm really, really, really under-leveled now. And just because this is a marathon, I'm spin the wrong way, for starters. And I'm going to kill both of these orbs here to get a defense boost, which lets me take, I think, like 1 or 2 extra hits here. I wouldn't get this in a more serious run. And here's where we get our ultimate form, Shadow.
Not to be confused with FF6.
Never. This is what he became of him after he fell off the floating continent.
It's Shadow and Cyan.
Yeah.
And that would
No,
be
Leo.
like Terra in the middle.
Yeah, I guess.
No, Leo.
Hmm?
How about Leo? Why not Leo?
Leo?
The really ironic thing there, though, is that Shadow is basically Cyan in color.
But he does like a flex when he dashes.
Yeah, so Shadow, I mean, doesn't have any kind of special abilities, but his attack does more damage than Friedan's sword, and you can melt, which you have to do in a couple of rooms here just to get around. But you can also use it for both for safety and for setting up a glitch later on.
Doesn't he have like slightly longer range?
Wow. Okay, I need to use the other TV to actually see where the lighter shade blocks are.
Red Jewel.
Yeah, there's several just completely hidden red jewels in this dungeon.
That's the most hidden one, probably.
it's
Well,
really-
I guess along with the one off the hub. That I
Yeah,
already
I'd say the
got.
one off the hub because there's not a chest there. It's just there.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. So the difficulty curve of these pyramid chambers is pretty wild. Like this is, this is probably a little above average, but the most difficult one is afterwards. That guy's a jerk sometimes. He wasn't that time.
Well, he's a bird.
Man, it's like there's like
Holes.
land right on top of you. And that's a nice little trick there.
I always like to get my pseudopod poses when I'm getting the hieroglyphs.
Oh yeah, that's like Sephiroth sword.
Alright, so the most difficult pyramid room is right now, and I'm gonna, just for marathon safety, I'm gonna heal before going in, just because I took a lot of damage in the last one. Oops.
No, not underneath that. Secret room. It's like, what?
Watch there be like a credits warp or something from melting at the right spot.
You got melt in stealth camp. So he was just like delaying the laser.
Yeah, I was despawning the first orb's laser off screen. Oh wow, I can't. It's, I'm used to being able to actually see the blocks I can melt through.
You can't even see the lines on the.
This room.
Getting through the first half of this room without damage is really, really good.
Yep.
I mean, the pyramid's the most difficult dungeon, and this is the most difficult section of the pyramid. Okay, I'll take the safety strides here.
Nice.
Lovely.
I mean, I really could have just afforded to dash through and get hit, even if I didn't time it right, because I'm at full health, but I don't really want to take any chances in the killer 6-pack.
Yeah.
That one I did an invincibility frame dash through to hit the switch without having to actually fight. So now I can taunt it.
It's a long room. Here we go.
Nice.
Nice. Could have had a potentially a no damage fun room if I'd have hit the sweet spot for being able to slide in and stun lock all 5 of them, but I'll take that. Anyone I can walk away from.
Yep. I just leave what, 2 rooms left?
3.
3, okay.
Because I'm doing all 3 of Shadow's rooms back to back, then all 3 of Will's rooms.
Okay.
That's really, really hard to get. I mean, I just took the riskier route because I had enough health, but lower health I would have done laser despawns to do it more safely.
Each hit takes how much away from you?
With that defense Jill I got, it's 5.
Okay, so you get 2 hits. You can take 2 more hits then.
And then I do this room last for Shadow's rooms just because I have to die to get out without having to do like a lot of backtracking just because of where the red jewel is.
And you become Will again, don't you, too?
Yep. So then that saves me having to transform back into Will. Now I'm gonna pit stop back into the fun room to get the jewel here.
Nice.
I'm pretty much through the hard parts. The rest of the pyramid until the boss is pretty easy by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shadow's rooms are the hardest because you have to do iframe dashing in order to get past enemies without fighting. With Will, you can spin dash.
What spikes?
And you can go through spikes too, but the funny thing is that the really scary looking spike ceiling does exactly 1 damage if it touches you, regardless of your defense stat, whereas the laser orbs in a normal run would do 6. After all of Will's rooms, then I death warp.
Yep.
Because if I use the teleporter, I'd have to transform into Shadow to get back into the hub room, and then become Will again to go into the actual chamber. This 6th room, though, is you can actually use any character you want, but I use Will just both because of death warp convenience and because of being able to spin dash for faster movement.
Boss time.
One more.
Yeah, I was thinking that was 5.
And I do this one last just because there isn't a convenient way to death warp after getting the hieroglyph. And then, so I use the teleporter then to get back to the top for the boss. Only Will is able to get over these ramps, which is why he's required for these sections.
That was nice to change the direction like that.
I get herbs.
Those red jewels, man.
Da 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 da.
You've got the hieroglyphs.
It sticks purple.
Now for one of the darkest scenes in like any Super Nintendo game ever.
We currently have a $46 donation from an anonymous donor. It says, "Bugger, it might as well finish it off." We also have a $20 donation from another anonymous donor, and it says, "Here's a small donation to get us closer to Jem's mansion. Keep up the great work." We also have a $50 donation. "Hey there, guys. It's Axe Lester here. My mom has type 2 diabetes, and while I know this marathon is for type 1, this sort of hits home. Good luck to all the runners. P.S. I really should be sleeping now. I won't argue with you there, good sir." We have a $30 donation from Gramora. "Hey, Gramora. That box is too pretty to pass up. I mean, what's in it? Is it a pony? I bet it's a pony!" No, unfortunately, it's not a pony.
Meta. Meta's in the box.
I'm not going to give it away. It could still be me.
Whoa.
I may bust out flexing.
How do you know it's not a pony?
I am not at liberty to discuss these things with you. We have another $20 donation from Joey and Brittany. My wife has type 1 diabetes. It is a daily struggle. We hope for a cure someday. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to support this cause. We are honored that you are doing so. Thank you so much, Joey and Brittany, and we hope that we can raise a lot of money to help with whatever it is exactly that's going on.
So, there's a diary you can get that tells you what the order for these tablets is, but if you already know what the order is, then you can just do it.
I was looking on the back wall. Seems anything on the back wall that like gives you a hint or something. Shadow. I just think that you'll get him just late in the game.
Yeah, it's just for the last dungeon.
Yeah.
At least you get to use them for the boss refights.
Yeah, it sounds like yay. Get the. But gave them a reason to want to make more boss refights. Oh, you have Shadow, but you didn't have to get to find the bosses.
Alright, Mummy Queen does 15 damage with all of her attacks, so I can only take one hit and I die in the second. Whoa. This is kind of an awkward spot. Setting up the first hit is a little interesting sometimes. You can only get one hit per cycle, which is why there's no. I mean, you could bring other characters, but you want free Shadow.
It does no damage.
Because Shadow does 3 damage per hit to bosses, Free Dan does 2, and Will does 1.
And she's at what, 40 health? So that's
Yeah, all of them have 40.
That's 14 hits from him. 20 from Free Dan, 40 from Will.
Gets a little more interesting once she's down to half health, because then she gets a different attack, which is going to be the next hit. Once she's below half health, it's a 75% chance of that ring pattern, and then 25 for the spreading ghosts. That was just, there was kind of no way out of that without getting hit. Alright.
There you go. Yeah.
Because depending on where she is, and where I am relative to the set of blocks in the middle of the room, it's sometimes I have to back away and give up my chance to hit the correct ghost if I don't want to get hit by her shot.
Well, you get full health. You were half health. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I could have tanked the hit, and I probably would have in a more serious run, but I chickened out.
Don't do it on the arm guy.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for donating for the for Jem's Mansion in Solidarv. That'll be coming up after the boss refights here.
Oh, like 10 minutes?
More like 5.
We still have to go to Dolly and then do the snake. And
oh yeah, there is that. Well, yeah, as far as getting to Solidarv is probably about 10 minutes away.
Will's taking his height, jumping from heights of being from the greater height. Who needs a ladder from a plane?
Glowy parachute.
He goes, "Is your parachute ready?" He didn't wait for the answer. Just goes, "Let's go."
Yep. got what basically the final red jewel, although I haven't gotten the ones in Dao yet. The final jewel is missable too, because once you've gone high enough up in the tower, you can't go back down.
You have the crystal ring. Now, actually, walk through the blue thing, the blue lines, right?
Yep. That's what King Edward was looking for at the beginning of the game too.
Oh.
And Will had it all along. Alright, so now we have the boss refights, and then we get to use Shadow for all of them. So they're considerably faster and easier than the first rounds.
One cycle on this one?
Yeah. Hands of less HP too. Getting the one cycle without getting hit sometimes is impossible, depending on which patterns the crystals are in.
Do you get healed after the fight or no?
The goal is to have my remaining HP and medical herbs from after beating the pyramid last me through the rest of the game.
What, you have like 2 or 3 herbs left?
2 maybe.
I don't think you get hit. I don't think you should get hit in this one, probably.
That kind of was a boss.
Yeah.
No. Big boss, really?
That one's easy with Shadow. Just because the animation's so long. Vampires.
Yeah, Vampires Refight is really different from the first round because of Shadow. I'm gonna try to set up a glitch that lets me get a pretty fast fight.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. I'm using a glitch that lets me attack well in the aura melting animation. So while I'm doing that, I'm actually attacking every frame, so I'm hitting them basically the frame that their invincibility wears off. And I also abuse the I mean, it's kind of a little tricky to set up, but I can abuse the fact that when they do their combo attack, they always return to the positions they were in before they did it. So I'm there waiting for them, basically.
Not an easy
For
fight.
Sandfanger 2, I can get a 2-cycle kill if I get the egg pattern twice in a row.
No.
We have a current $20 donation from DS Gatewalker, or DWS Gatewalker. His comment says, C4L hype. Gotta get a donation during Illusion of Gaia, which I got in for just in time for the bacon sacrifice. Put this towards renaming Joint Struggle in Wild Arms 4 as Curb Stomp. It feels like a fitting name. Thank you for the $20 donation, DWS Gatewalker. And while we have a moment, I would also like to remind everybody about what we are doing here today is raising money for JDRF. It's a global organization focused on type 1 diabetes research with more than 100 locations worldwide. It's the largest charitable supporter of type 1 diabetes research worldwide, having provided $1.6 billion for type 1 diabetes research since founding in 1970. In 2011, they founded enough research projects in 18 different countries. So understand, people, you are definitely donating for a wonderful cause, and you're helping people out there that you may not even know. Thank you all so much. Also, one other thing of note is Illusion of Gaia will be ending soon, so make sure that any donations you would like to have for Lightning Returns that come real early, get them in now. Please, please, please. Thank you.
Mummy Queen refight is kind of not really too hype though, just because it's exactly the same as the first one, only she can't kill me in 2 hits.
Yep. That's snipe.
Yeah.
We let the ghosts go farther away to the edges on this one.
The layout of the room is a little nicer too, just because you don't have those blocks in the middle of the bottom layer.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to experiment with trying to do the first fight on the top layer of the room instead of the bottom to see if the layout's any nicer there, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. To health. Oops, I didn't think she was gonna move. When she's kind of in the corner like that, she tends to bounce off the wall as the ring is forming, so that's easy to get caught off guard by.
One more two more bosses.
Yep.
One more actual.
That's the boss refights.
One more that matters. I don't understand why the vampire's helping you.
Yeah, this whole end game doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like why Viper was helping you too.
Well, 104.
Let's say 103.
I need to get 30 snakes in order to get the red jewels from this mini game.
Just don't bounce out.
Yep. I would endeavor not to.
Aww.
Did you say 101?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you won nothing.
I always guess 101.
I guess 104.
Going to Gem's Mansion now.
I think Quetzal would rather
It's
have
the, it's
104.
the grand prize for getting all 50 red jewels.
Or the grand suffering for getting all 50 red jewels.
Yeah, this dungeon's a little annoying actually, just because there's a lot of lag because of how many enemies are on screen at once, and the game can drop my inputs and just make me attack instead of slide dash if I do badly. Alright, I'll go through the text kind of slowly for people that haven't seen it before.
Hello there.
Hey! Where have I seen this guy before?
Lauren. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, hit on the end, right? I think.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to not get hit by his last shot, though. Hey, smack talk. He's kind of forgetting about how the Soul Blazer took him out and about quadruple. Yeah, about quadruple the speed that Will just did.
The other little Easter egg is that the World of Evil Souls are flying in the background too. Though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bet you don't need soul armor for this one.
Just for safety, I'm gonna take a heal here.
Yeah, three and a half. Hard.
I mean, I could get one. I mean, I do have a medical herb left, but I could get one shot by some of Dark Gaia's attacks. Now we finally get to find out what these mystic statues we've been collecting the whole game actually do. Alright, so the mystic statues give us the Firebird, aka Phoenix, power for fighting the final boss. Just like the last game.
Didn't you also combine with Kara?
Hmm?
Didn't you also combine with Kara or something?
Yes. Because I guess she's the descendant of the Light Knights, and then Will's the descendant of the Dark Knights.
Yep.
How come you end up 1 health short of the 40?
You have to wait in line in Euro to get the last health.
Yeah, and that chop.
It's about 2.5 minutes of just waiting in line.
Can I cut?
It's not possible to get more than 1 hit per cycle in the first phase, even with the aura attack glitch. The falling pattern for the lasers is random too. And for the second form, the goal is to win in 3 vulnerability cycles. It's a little bit like getting the quick kill on the first boss, only a lot easier. I only got 4 hits, that's so I need to get, in order to get 3 cycles, I need to get 5 hits on the next 2 cycles.
Do it.
Got it in practice yesterday. Okay, I got 5 hits that time. Get ready on time, by the way.
It's the last hit, right?
It's the last hit on this boss, is time. Yes, time.
Math! Come on, Ryokun!
127
Plus.
plus 41 and 48.
127 plus 41 is 208.
It's a little under 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Somewhere between 225 and 2.5 is what I was hoping for this, so that's good. So I'm assuming we're gonna skip the ending and go on to Lightning Returns for catching up. How are we doing on?
You don't know how far, like how long we'll stay ahead. She's right there.
Yeah.
Ryokun, you better hurry up and find Essential. I mean, you don't know where she is.
Yeah. You need to find Essentia's wife too.
Alright guys, that was Illusion of Gaia by Puexel.
Had to go there.
We're going to take a short break while we set up, play a commercial or two, and when we come back you will see Lightning Returns, played by Essentia. Also, now is the time to get the rest of those donations in for Lightning Returns regarding schema, costumes, that pumpkin head. I'm not sure if it's been met yet, but do it now, guys. You'll have a small window of opportunity to get your donations in and get everything taken care of before we get this lightning train rolling. Thank you.